Welcome to part 7 of this Finding Meaning in Life series. Today, I want to talk about the struggle of not having a clear goal, of not having something that you're steering towards, that you're driven towards, that you feel like you want to achieve. And for me, most of my life, I've been very goal driven. I've always known what I wanted, or at least the direction to go in. From being a young child, I got into running quite early, like 11 years old, and I was quickly trying to run fast on races, achieve running goals. I went to university to get a degree because I wanted to achieve that and move on to the next chapter. I became a poker player and quickly started trying to level up as a poker player, play higher levels, earn more money, earn more achievements. From there, I went into coaching, which led me to, again, wanted to level up, provide more value, become a better coach. And seamless transitions from goal to goal, never really thinking about needing a goal, to be honest. I always just had a goal to aim towards. I always was doing this to get to that. And for many years, most of my life, up until maybe the last 2 years, that has fueled me. That has been my fuel to be driven, to be disciplined, to be productive, and to achieve all the goals I set out to want to achieve. Now I'm going through a different phase where the goals all feel a bit performative. It all feels like doing this to get that doesn't seem to drive me like it used to, which is very strange because in the past, I struggled to relate to people who didn't have goals. I struggled to relate to people who didn't at least go after something. Doesn't matter what it is, but go after something that you want, to pursue something, to try to create the life that you want on any level, whether it's creating a family, whether it's creating a business, whether it's getting a good shape, some sort of direction that you're moving towards. I always had that, and I struggled to relate to people who didn't have that. Now, I feel like I'm at the point where I'm like, now I get what it must feel like. I feel like I don't have the direction that I used to have. The goals I can think of achieving, which would normally have filled the void, now seem a bit like, that's not going to work. That's not going to do it. And I'm kind of in between motives, I guess, from trying to perform and get to an outcome to what is next. And as I'm trying to create a frame for it, I always like to create a kind of way of thinking about it for myself to simplify the process. I think I'm going from performance goals to participation-driven goals. Participation for me means showing up, doing what's in front of you, just allowing the moment itself to kind of drive behaviors, drive actions, and to, kind of be happy with what you're doing. I know, like, when I have goals, often, a lot of time I do get process-driven. I do like to just do what I'm doing, but it's still always, if I reflect on it, it's always to get somewhere. Every time I've been strongly motivated, it's always been to get to an outcome, to achieve something, to arrive somewhere. Whereas now I'm feeling like I need to lean into the moment more, lean into just doing what's in front of me, to remove some of the long-term goals and the plan inside and the outcome-based stuff, and try to act from there. And this is challenging, and this is where I'm definitely struggling, because right now, if I'm being honest with it, I lack the drive. I lack the energy. I lack the aliveness that I've normally have that would drive me forward. And I can do two things in this moment. I can wait. I can be patient. I can connect with myself and wait for something to appear, which is one method I've been exploring. My silent retreat was an exploration to that, and I continued that for a few more months in terms of slowing things down, seeing if anything appears. For me, that felt like it can only take you so far, at least for my personality, for my level of growth. For me, it feels like there's a different path that could be opening, which is to explore through doing, explore through action. So rather than having the answers or the direction all figured out, just do what's in front of you. Do the next thing. Be brave enough to put the camera on, shoot the video. Don't over polish stuff. Don't over perform. Just participate in life, participate in the moment, contribute to the moment. That's where I'm feeling the biggest pull. And I say the biggest pull, it's not a strong pull. It's just an underlying tension that I feel like isn't going to go away by sitting with it, and maybe it will, isn't going to go away from distracting myself, at least not long term. It's going to, it needs to be leaned into. I think leaned into is participating in life. And I feel like life is this interactive game. When you're living fully and you feel the most alive, life's a full interactive game. You're given to the moment's given back. Life's giving you something, you're giving something back. You're trying to maybe achieve something on the way, but you're fully immersed. You're doing things and you're in motion. You're in that kind of aliveness of life. And I feel like that's what I need to get back to, but I'm not going to get back to it without moving before the feeling comes. And that's the challenging part. I know, I remember I read a book called The Motivation Myth a long time ago, and the kind of main takeaway for me for that book was motivation comes after you get started. So if you're waiting for motivation, you're going to wait forever. Sometimes it'll come, sometimes it won't. But if you get started on something, motivation comes after. I feel like life often works that way. You need to take one step for the next one to appear. You need to get moving before you know what direction you're necessarily going in. And there's only so much planning, preparation that you can do. So yeah, this 28-day series for me, whether I get one view per episode or a few more, is all about me exploring, just show up, just participate in life, just be a player in the game of life without necessarily having the feelings there. And the feelings hopefully will come back in a different way. And I feel like I'm switching from a different fuel source. That's really how it feels. It feels like what fueled me was drive, was goals, was achievements. And that fuel source is like depleted in terms of it doesn't give me the same internal fire that it used to. Hopefully that's a good thing. Hopefully it's an evolution, not a de-evolution, if that's a word. And now I haven't tapped into that next fuel source yet. That next fuel source for me feels like it needs to be more connection to myself, but also connection to life, to showing up, participating as myself, my most authentic self, and taking actions from there. Right now, I'm kind of waiting for that fuel source to kick in. I'm like kind of in the battery flat mode of waiting for that next fuel source to go, right, this is it. And you hear about people with purpose, with drive, and yeah, you see like how proactive, how much they get done without really draining themselves. And yeah, I feel like now I need to pair patience with action. I think that's where I need to be, because if I'm too patient, I can wait around and reflect too much and not move forwards. And yeah, if I'm not taking enough action, I'm not getting the feedback, I'm not really figuring out things out as I go, I'm not learning enough, I'm not failing enough. So I think now I need to challenge myself to, yes, be patient in terms of waiting for things to come to me or to figure out the path, but also to be proactive, to show up as my best self day by day and let life be my teacher. And that's where my mind is fighting back, because as I said, I've lived majority, if not all of my adult life with a goal. So if that's been the compass and that's been the drive of behavior, and you remove that or you remove the pull of that, it is going to take time for something else to kick in. And yeah, it is challenging because I read a lot of books in a lot of fields. I read a lot of psychology. I read a lot of deep philosophy. I read a lot of stoicism. I read a lot of spirituality. And the path that I feel like I'm on, the phase I'm going through, it feels like it kind of gets skipped past by both sides. It's either the goal-driven and the ultra-physiology and be driven towards a purpose, or it's like a spiritual path of like understand your higher purpose, a connection to something greater than yourself. And then I feel like I'm in between, in the void in between. Maybe I've fallen through the net of the performance and shown up from that lens, and I haven't found the next drive. And I think it's it's an interesting place because there's nothing really overly positive here other than growth and learning about yourself, reflecting, slowing down, but it's kind of assumed when you go from one path, you end up on the other. And for me, I haven't yet. So yeah. All right, I'm going to stop this video here. This is the 7th day. So this is my last reflection on the void itself and the kind of struggles, the challenges. Next week, I'm going to go more into more proactive measures I'm taking, things I'm learning, ways I'm reflecting. So yeah, I wanted to spend a full week on the heavier side. So thank you for anyone who's watched this to the end of this video. And yeah, next week I will start to explore some different directions I'm taking. And yeah, I'll share daily insights for next week as well.